Today, from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on Zach Wilson and the New York Jets.
From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the New York Jets. Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Hard Rock Stadium. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return, and he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Jets about set to go on offense, led by their rookie quarterback for 2021, the second overall pick, Zach Wilson out of BYU.
There's a lot of good to watch in the game last week, wasn't there? I mean, he did throw 2 touchdown passes. That was impressive. And he's so close, isn't he? The 3 interceptions killed him and his team. That was costly. But if he just cleans that up a little bit, there's a reason for optimism with this team and this passer.
Here's a Florida native from up near Pensacola. It's Michael Carter. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. Well, these two teams met down in Miami earlier this year with the Dolphins winning that one. So they're looking for the season sweep with a win here in Miami. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now it's Wilson. Lewis has it, the tight end. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. Oh, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now Wilson. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah that time able to drop him for a loss. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait till the season's over. But he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. Yeah. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
The start less than ideal as they already face a 2nd and long. Here's a give to Carter. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
On 2nd down now, it's Carter. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, Wilson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, they've moved the ball okay here in these first 2 drives, but this one's going to, again, amount to nothing. They've got to start dialing up some plays that allow them to finish drives with points.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away. Bowden now to return. Shoves him aside near the 35. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led by the 2nd-year man from the University of Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa.
And he's had such a sensational season to this point, leading the NFL in passing yards. He's been helped out a lot by an outstanding set of receivers, and he's quick to give them credit. But I think even they would tell you that he's the guy that makes this offense go.
Tua now on 1st down. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, this offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0 and a finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were touchdown Dolphins. That's caught. Jalen Waddle, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll make the score 14-0. after the touchdown. Ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. And New York set to take the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Carter. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3-3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. So, Charles, take nothing away from this young man under center because I know people think he's got a very bright future in this league, but I have to figure the defensive coordinators love the thought of squaring off against a rookie quarterback.
And especially if they have guys they can put together a game plan with that's going to confuse, disguise a lot of coverage, make this kid think a little bit. Because in college, he's seen a lot of things. Let's not get it wrong here. But at the same time, in the NFL, you can do so much more because of the athletes you have, because of their football IQ. And don't forget, you're going to throw a couple extra rushers at him as well. See if he can handle the pressure when those guys come at him.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain. Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Yeah, his hand on it couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well of 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're... Not just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Sanders on for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he returns this to the 22. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3 and out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either. I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. And that is incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Oh, the return is Bowden. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And you figure this should be a healthy, a rested, a focused unit, and they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really this is caught at the 20. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over him.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And a rout is on here in this first half. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The rookie Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to go to work once more. First down, Wilson. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Maybe a frustration pick. There because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty as a result of that hit there.
So now a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. From the gun, it's a run for Freeman. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Jerome Baker, Dolphins leading tackler in 2020, in on the stop there. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. A handoff for Carter. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Derek Brown in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
Here's Braden Mann now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Miami set to take over. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. He's going to air one out. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets are going to get it back here just past the 35. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. A give, Carter running right. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson will drop this one down to Freeman. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this will be taken at the 13. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people next time out, run the football. Don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Tua. He sets to fire deep. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle. What is going on here? 4 first-quarter touchdowns. Unbelievable. And the Dolphins open the lead up to 34-0. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And a rout is on here in this first half. So plenty of fireworks here early. 35-0 now as the kick is away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now Carter. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Here's Wilson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And he'll have a Jets first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
A good strong run there by Michael Carter, reminiscent of his days at North Carolina. A 1,000-yard rusher each of his last 2 years in Chapel Hill, despite being in a timeshare with Javonte Williams.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins will take over possession here up at the 44.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big play there for the Dolphins.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver. And as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On the handoff, it's Gaskin. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or else he'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. He'll try again. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to widen their lead here this first half. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it is 42-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The rookie Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to go to work once more. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
They'll run with Carter. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Fair to say, it hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one. Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
55,
On 1st and 10, it's Carter. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw is Wilson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Well, that was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Here's Wilson to throw. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's the Jets punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Miami's offense set and ready to go. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. To throw again on second down. Tua rumbling past the 30 and all the way up to the 35-yard line.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run now with Gaskin. Now this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
So in jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. From the gun, it's Tua. Man open, that's Henry Ruggs. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Late in the season now, MVP chatter starts, and he might be on the fringe. This is always an award that goes quarterback, running back, usually quarterback. A lot of bias. Does he deserve consideration?
He more than deserves consideration, because the way the game is played in the NFL now, it's a pass-first league, right? So that means that people are going to adjust their defenses for him each and every week, and he's still putting up big-time numbers. I know the quarterbacks, the running backs get it, but he should be firmly in the race for MVP.
Now a 1st down carry, it's Williams. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. For these two division rivals, the schedule maker gave them a couple of second-half meetings this year. They met for the first time back in Week 11, and it was the Dolphins with a road victory, so they'll look for the sweep now here in Miami. This is Gaskin on the carry. And down inside the 15 he goes. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. On 1st down, Williams. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 42 yards on the ground for him so far.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. Well, I'll say one thing, Charles. You're getting really good practice here breaking down touchdowns. What did you see there?
Well, the same thing I've seen over and over and over in this first half. My scintillating analysis, Brandon, This offense is absolutely taking no prisoners.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Michael Carter and the Jets offense ready to get back to work. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
The one with the dime look that time on defense just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And taken right on the 30. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. He's got him in. Complete. Touchdown. Henry Ruggs with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Completes it left side to the tight end Lewis. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. From the gun, it's Wilson. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. Now the Jets going to use the second. Of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And the Dolphins rush gets home, down he goes. Give the sack to Jerome Baker. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. He'll drop that down to Carter underneath. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Oh, his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Fielded just inside the 20. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Tua, the final shot before half. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start in upstate New York. Sean McDermott's former team, Carolina, in town to take on Buffalo. And the Panthers are out in front as they play the second quarter. Robbie Anderson, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll make the trip down to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they currently trail in that game against the visiting Patriots. Mac Jones with a couple of touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Dak Prescott has thrown a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. On the return, Lynn Bowden. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they get the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Four yards remain for second down. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 62 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. And And they give this time to the tailback. And he's going to get this down close to a first at about the Jets' 42. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And this defense going to bring out a couple extra DBs here on 3rd and a yard.
Take four.
Here's Gaskin. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
A nice substantial run there by Gaskin, who was the Dolphins' leading rusher in 2020. 584 total yards in just 7 starts and got stronger as the season went on. Not bad for a 7th-round pick in 2019. He was drafted number 234 overall that season.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second-half blowout material. They'll run it with Williams. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up. But the scoreboard. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Mike six.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Second and 6.
Let's go. What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right. We got 4.
Williams. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Again, it's Williams. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 80 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Williams. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A Great play there. With his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the numbers. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't rein in at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Wilson. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. So now here come the Dolphins. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the #1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35.
55 rushing yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, I think after that run, the defense get back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
2nd and 4.
On the ground, this is Williams. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Go. Check three.
On third down, here's Williams. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Williams. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And to give this time to the tailback. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Williams. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4. They run it again with Williams. And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. Second down coming up.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. Carter with it. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Stephen Carter, touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Sanders on for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. New York's offense back out there and set to go. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Christian Wilkins, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I notice you used the word sparked because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure. I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. Throwing is Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away.
Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. On the handoff, it's Gaskin, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard. There, and it's 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And room there to work it inside the 25. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 2nd down, Williams. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
They'll run it with Williams. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to kick it away.
Bowden now to return. A nice punt, but a good run back as well of 13 yards.
And it'll be Dolphin football.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. They'll run now with Gaskin. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Still 9 remaining on 2nd down.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And for the moment, this will be a 1st down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he's going to be marked down very close to the 1st down marker, but it looks like he's a yard short. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Miami, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints.
Meanwhile, for the Jets, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against Jacksonville. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.